At New Dream Foundation, we provide a couple of different quests that allow people to become more clear about their life purpose and even their relationship with Spirit. For those of you that have quested to discover your life purpose or your 3 missions, as in the case with the Sacred Path of the Feminine and the Elderhood initiation, you may be encountering some challenges that have you questioning your ability to fulfill your calling, and that's what I want to speak to today. I want you to know, first of all, that this is a normal process. When your purpose or mission has come from deep within your spiritual center and the depth of your relationship with the divine, it can challenge you to the very core of your being. Think of it as the hero's or heroine's journey. Now that you know what you are here to do and you begin, you are going to be tested along the way until the pure, strong essence of your divine self emerges for your fulfillment. Now, you may find yourself trying to make your purpose happen, or you may find yourself withdrawing from it completely. You may be wondering if you accurately understood your mission or purpose, which means that your mind may have been a little too involved figuring it out, and you were working too hard from the very beginning. You may discover, or you may be thinking that your mission has changed, and it may have if the web of life has changed. But that would be a significant change in the web. Or you may not yet see how what you are currently doing has any bearing on your mission or purpose. Or you might be afraid of what you would have to overcome in order to fulfill your purpose or missions. You may be discovering that your purpose or missions are calling you to become completely healthy or to make your peace with conscious dying. You may be finding it calls you to reevaluate your daily activities, your daily commitments, or what's important, or even your most significant relationships. You may be finding yourself challenged to open to greater prosperity than you've ever imagined, or to very finally focus your attention and release all attachments to anything, especially earthly treasures. You are probably feeling challenged to stretch beyond anything you have imagined, any limits that you currently have, and you're called to sit with your most fundamental fears until they release. Your purpose and your missions give you an opportunity to become a master of yourself. The tests you experience are reflections of your own doubts and fears. And so purposes and missions teach us to become humble because we can't fulfill them with our ego alone. If it's true and it's deep from Spirit, it's going to require Spirit at every level. You won't be able to overcome your inner struggles with your truth, your worthiness, or your capacity to love by trying to figure it out. Your strength comes from knowing your true self and knowing your limitless capacity to love, and that requires surrender to the divine over and over again. Fortunately, the path of the Sacred Feminine provides us with 2 ways to be with our fears when they arise. And because these are meditations, they are available to both men and women. You may have other methods for unlocking yourself when you feel stuck or confused or withdrawn, and I encourage you to use whatever works for you, because some part of you is longing for your freedom. One thing that you can do is take your feelings into the creation meditation. Hold your concerns in compassion and take them right back to the sacred womb, the stillness, the darkness from which those purposes and missions came originally. Allow the purpose or the mission to be reborn when it is ready in light and clarity. So that from the light and from the clarity, you're spilling over in love from its truest expression. And the purpose or mission simply must become, rather than trying to make it happen or that feeling of withdrawing from it. It must become. Now, you still may have challenges to overcome, and you may indeed at times have to figure things out, like, how do I add one more activity into an already full schedule? Or how am I going to address this person that seems to be holding me back in my fulfillment? Or You may be discovering new ways to make sure that you're completely healthy to be able to complete your service. You may discover in the clarity of that meditation that it's not time for this particular mission, and you're free to focus on one of the others that's of greater importance. You may discover you need to change careers, or that the current career you're in actually better serves your purpose or mission than you had originally thought. You might experience your fundamental fears releasing, creating some space for greater creativity for resolving some of the challenges that come up. You may discover that your purpose is completed and no longer needed because the web of life has changed so significantly. But you'll be able to have confidence if that message comes from the source from which it came originally. So you return to the source from which it came. A second way you can be with your concern or fear is to use the 4 prescriptions. Those 4 prescriptions are surrender, acceptance, desire, and commitment, typically in that order. Now you might know immediately which one of those prescriptions would be good for you to meditate with now. And if you're not sure, I suggest you go to a trusted friend and ask for their intuitive insight. Or start from the beginning. Begin with surrender and work your way through all of the prescriptions as a means for gaining greater clarity. The 4 prescriptions actually represent the elements of the hero or heroine's journey. At some point, your purpose or mission itself will require that you surrender your predetermined ideas about how things are supposed to happen. And at some point it requires that you accept the isness of the moment of what is and what is true. And you know that deep inside, if you are trying to make it happen, that's not the same as when a mission or a purpose flows from your desire. And its desire actually to become itself in the world. And in order to exist, a mission depends upon your commitment to it, especially in those times when you feel most challenged. It continues repeating the cycle of surrender, acceptance, desire, and commitment. Continues to repeat itself until your mission is fulfilled in this lifetime. So you might think of your fulfillment of your purpose or mission as a spiral. With each winding of the spiral, you are awakening to yourself. And as you awaken, you are better able to fulfill your reason or reasons for being here on earth. You can choose to enjoy the process completely, and it can become a motivator for experiencing the fullness of life itself. After all, the mystery is limitless, so your fulfillment has no end. Purposes and missions are really very simply ways in which we engage with the mysterious divine, revealing our true nature to ourselves. So may I invite you to use the moments when you're feeling stuck or confused or withdrawn to let go of figuring out how or what that all means or what you're supposed to do, and return to the sacred feminine, the source from which they came, and allow the love and the clarity of your purpose to reemerge from you in its perfection.